A pleasant good morning to you. It is Friday, March 25th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. As Barbados, the region and the world emerge from the grips of the coronavirus pandemic, many of those who have contracted COVID-19 will still feel those effects of the virus for time to come. That is long COVID, a term we've become quite familiar with by now, but many people are either unclear about its effects or don't know if they are suffering with the condition. That's why we have Dr. Kenneth Connell this morning. He's the Deputy Dean of Internationalization and Recruitment at the UWI-K-Phil, and he's also the Associate Consultant Internist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, joining us live to look at recent trends with long COVID-19. Dr. Connell, great to have you here with us on the Morning Report. So we have been hearing about this term, we've been hearing about some of the effects, but there's still so much uncertainty about how it affects those who are suffering with the condition. What can you tell us about recent trends?
Sure. So let me start by saying there is confusion not only amongst patients, but also amongst the medical fraternity, because this is new to us. There was no long COVID before a COVID, right? And long COVID, although the name does suggest that this is a continuation of the viral illness, the acute viral illness, it certainly may not be, but might be a consequence of it. And I will explain that. So when we have, or if we are unfortunate enough, or just we contracted COVID-19, many of us, especially with the Omicron variant, will probably not have symptoms, right? We probably wouldn't even know we had it. We had a random test done that tested positive. And so we go on to think that the immune system, which has largely kind of counteracted the effects of the virus, has reset back to normal. What we're now seeing is that this may not necessarily be the case. It's almost as if a virus has been installed on your computer, you didn't have your antiviral software there, it caused some corruption, but then things started to return to normal, but then it's still there lingering. And so these patients may have lingering symptoms, which we refer to as long COVID. And more recently, and more precisely, it's now referred to as post-acute sequelae of SARS-CoV-19, which is a long kind of acronym, but it's really representing the fact that this isn't just a continuation of the sudden acute virus, but it's really a disease in itself, and an interesting disease to study. So for instance, when the immune system that I mentioned may not have reset back to normal, what that means in physical terms and in clinical terms is that your immune system now has a hard time in recognizing what belongs to you and what's actually viral or invader molecules. And so it starts to attack itself. This is referred to as autoimmunity. And Shane, many of our viewers probably already know this. This is not new in medicine. There are many diseases like that, such as type 1 diabetes, lupus, as well as rheumatoid arthritis, where your body has been triggered by a viral infection. The immune system does not reset back to normal, what immunologists call immunomodulation. And as a result of that, it attacks itself. And this seems to happen. And of course, your immune system is not very precise in the organ. It affects all the organs. So this is why long COVID can have many symptoms, ranging from the brain, which was initially described as the so-called brain fog and loss of memory, and just feeling unusual depression and anxiety, but also affecting other important systems, such as the cardiovascular system.
And that would be the heart. Before we get to that, because we want to hear about how it is affecting those people living with CNCDs, who does it affect more, according to our studies here, those who have been vaccinated or the unvaccinated?
Well, let me start by saying, to my knowledge, there are no local studies. There possibly are local studies ongoing, but certainly the data have not been published as yet. So I will reference a study out of the United States, which has done most of the work on long COVID, and over $1 billion of the Biden administration has now been dedicated just to the study of past or long COVID. So the predisposing factors appear to be patients living with NCDs, such as cardiovascular diseases like heart attack, stroke, cancers, patients who already have autoimmune diseases such as lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, as well as if you had a very severe infection during the viral illness. You were very ill, you were hospitalized perhaps, you were probably higher at risk. Women are also at a higher risk, and middle age. The middle age category is certainly at a higher risk. So you can just imagine in an NCD country like Barbados, long COVID or past syndrome is going to be a significant burden on our health systems, and we are already seeing this at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Talk about exactly what you're seeing in terms of those people living with CNCDs at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, because there has been an outreach program to help those during the pandemic. But what have you been seeing now at the hospital with these patients with chronic non-communicable diseases living now with long COVID?
So, but referencing the Al Ali study, which I mentioned, which showed that the number one presentation is actually heart failure for the cardiovascular system. So we have seen increased rates in heart failure presentations to the hospital in patients who've had COVID-19. And then there are other peculiar presentations, such as heart failure in a young patient, which is not known to have cardiovascular disease, or strokes in young patients. Many people, and many of my colleagues certainly have seen this both locally and internationally, the whole acute presentations of diabetes, people presenting in diabetic emergencies who were previously controlled. So people who are living already with NCDs may have sudden presentations to the hospital, but it's probably more important to mention that even if you do not, or you're not known to have an NCD, you could certainly present with a past type or long COVID syndrome. And the schematic that you have up on the screen is really just showing, so many of us, right, will have an acute illness or the viral illness, which may last about 10 days or so. And we hope that we will all recover in this very straight line coming across. That is not necessarily the case in up to a third of individuals in one American study. So long COVID can be there because you, as I said, you have higher viral replication, and so the virus is attacking cells, and so your body gets disturbed by that mechanism. More importantly, it seems that your immune system reset does not return to normal, and so your system then can attack your own body.
Quickly before you go then, Dr. Connell, so how do we beat long COVID? Those people who have had COVID-19 who are feeling some of those symptoms that you would have described, how do we defeat that? Can you defeat it?
So this is literally a billion-dollar question, right? So there are two sides of it. One, doctors have to be aware and be vigilant. But most importantly, or more importantly, patients also have to recognize some of the symptoms. So for instance, if you've had COVID-19, whether you had symptoms or not during the illness, and you recognize new or worsening symptoms, such as your memory is not very clear. You develop shortness of breath on your usual morning walk at 5:30 a.m. before a morning report, or you somehow develop a severe attack, such as a stroke or some other illness that you may not think is related to COVID-19, you should seek medical attention. Do not just sit at home and kind of say, well, this is just taking a longer period to recover. Also, the fatigue and lethargy associated with COVID-19 should not last into months. If that is happening, it is time that you have a conversation with your doctor.
Dr. Connell, thanks for your expertise this morning. Always great talking to you. You stay safe. I know you're out in the field on the front lines, but please do stay safe until the next time we talk.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Dr. Kenneth Connell there is speaking with us here live on the Morning Report. We'll take a break here. We got a lot more news coming your way. Let's look at our COVID-19 updates now. There were 110 new COVID-19 cases, 46 males and 64 females, recorded on Wednesday. That's out of 723 tests conducted by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. Of those positive cases, 20 youngsters were under the age of 18 and 90 individuals were 18 years and older. The number of people in isolation facilities was 46, while 856 people were in home isolation. As at March 23rd, there were 329 deaths from the virus. The pandemic will not be allowed to deprive students here in Barbados of being guided on future careers. The Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors has announced their second virtual career showcase to be held on March 30th and March 31st. The showcase is targeted at 13 to 18-year-old students at public and private secondary schools as well as special needs schools on the island. President of the association, Dr. Patricia Welch, says the goal is to support the development of young people so they can become productive citizens in the future. She also gave some insight into some of the professions which will be on show.
The emerging careers, we will take a look at robotics, coding, renewable energy, computer animation. Innovation will be shared in the areas of education, health, agriculture, finance, and business. There's an anti-money laundering and compliance consultant, a media forensics expert, and a biomarker consultant. Other careers of interest are in construction, medicine, law, counseling, psychology, barbering, childcare. We have a nanny, cosmetologist, we have accountants, and also nutritionists.
The Career Showcase is part of a series of activities facilitated by the association, and Dr. Welch is appealing for more organizations to partner with them to assist with the facilitation of their summer work program. Let's go over to the Bahamas now, and they're monitoring the development of a new highly contagious COVID-19 Omicron variant called BA2, which was recently discovered in China and parts of Europe.
Well, our team at the Ministry of Health is watching exactly what's going on in China, Asia, as well as Europe. And our job is to monitor. As we monitor, we will take into consideration what's happening, particularly the possibility of it now spreading to the United States, coming through California, and the list goes on and on. So we're watching it very closely.
Any intention to implement a travel ban?
There's no intention at this particular time.
Despite a drop in COVID-19 cases and the recent relaxation of COVID-19 protocols, the Minister of Health in Guyana, Dr. Frank Anthony, reminds people there of their individual responsibility in the fight against the pandemic.
People now have more independence in terms of determining what they do. That independence now it's up to you whether you want to wear a mask or not. So it's optional, but you have to look at your risk and you have to decide whether you want to take precautions. So there's an individual responsibility. Working places, business entities, different spaces can also decide whether they want certain rules in place and work with those, because as you can see, we still have active cases in Guyana.
Let's update you now on what's happening in the Ukraine with the continued Russian military attacks on civilian targets there. Medical staff at a hospital in Kharkiv are experiencing significant pressure from the influx of injured civilians, all with their own stories.
A desperate attempt to save lives. Overstretched and overworked. Medical staff at Kharkiv Regional Clinical Hospital are under unprecedented pressure. The intensive care unit is filled with victims of this war.
I haven't treated civilians with combat injuries before. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of cases. Sometimes we receive 10 people from one location, but we've learned to do it quickly, provide aid. It's our experience that counts.
They work under constant threat to their own lives.
We are standing here and listening to the sound of shelling. I don't know where it will hit. The hospitals in Balaklia and Zolochev are destroyed. In Lozova, hospitals don't work anymore. We don't know what will be today. If the bomb lands, the hospital will no longer exist. The children's hospital is destroyed. The Center for Blood Donation operates from the basement.
Many of these people were in their homes when they were hit by shrapnel.
The shelling was intense. Then it stopped, then it started again. 3 people were killed immediately. I'm the only one that survived, but have all these injuries.
What are the kind of injuries that you're seeing? Downstairs, there are more patients.
One of the most
Sasha's leg has been amputated.
Actually, there was a lot of patients with serious injuries right here, but this boy is the most strong-willed from all of them, because mostly of them are crying, asking for saving their legs and arms, but he was the only one who said, just do what you think you need to do. So this is a real warrior, still hard.
And he has one message for the world.
Close the sky about Ukraine and Russia.
These wards are filled with casualties from this war.
Here, most of patients are after artillery. It's not because most of patients was wounded by artillery. It's just because most of patients after aircraft are dead. So this is the most hard patient of...
In another ward, we find Yevgeny Teleshko. He threw his body over his 8-year-old son when he heard explosions. His son was unharmed.
Traveling above his chest and then go out here.
He was struck by shrapnel.
The piece of shrapnel that we see here.
We're shown pieces of shrapnel by the staff. This tiny piece killed a woman.
By staying here, we are defending our families and working for victory. We are together. We are in a common cause.
This is my bed. One.
For the staff here, this is their life. They sleep in the corridors to stay close to their patients and hope the walls will protect them if the hospital is hit.
4.
And you sleep in the corridor?
Yep.
Patients like Sasha and medical staff here have all asked for the same thing. Oblivious of the politics around it, they want the airspace over Ukraine and this city closed because it's the damage done from the bombs that are dropped from planes that are causing the most casualties.
Time now to go over to Wendy to find out what's happening on the Friday edition of Morning Barbados. Wendy, what do you have for us today?
Well, good morning to you, Shane, and fantastic Friday to our viewers. This morning, we'll get to meet more of the recipients of the RF National Distinguished Teachers Awards. This time, it's going to be those at the nursery level, the ones who take care of our little tiny tots. We're also going to be hearing about a program going on at the Summer University at the Orlando for the summer for students, as well as finding out more about that hearing loss program which Rotary is putting on. We'll hear from the experts, and we'll also get to meet with one of the persons who benefited from the program. So that and a lot more coming up this morning, Shane.
Thank you, Wendy. You'll get to hear the latest coming up on the morning report regarding the rate hearing and the Barbados Light and Power Company. You'll hear who's joining that team to review what's happening with these light rates that we have to pay here in Barbados, these electricity rates. Also, some BSAC sports coming your way, and we have to give you the update on what is happening with the West Indies versus England in the third and deciding test being held in Grenada. All of that and a whole lot more coming your way right here on the Morning Report. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley is pleased that opportunities continue to be open for women to excel, but she says too many of these are only at the highest levels. She was speaking during the question and answer segment of the World Trade Organization's inaugural presidential lecture. Ms. Motley explains what needs to be done to ensure that ordinary women are given the power of choice.
The ability to say yes and no is the most powerful thing that we can give a human being. There are too many girls and too many women who do not still have that power today, and therefore that must motivate us all to vest in them that right. Do I believe that it will happen in 10, 20, 30 years? Probably not. But, you know, the Talmud says that we're not expected to complete the task, but neither are we at liberty to resile from it. So we shall continue to fight the battle for gender equality.
The Barbados Renewable Energy Association, BREA, is one of the latest entities to be added to the list of interveners for the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited's hearing for a rate increase. BREA says they are ready to go before the Fair Trading Commission, although a date has not yet been revealed. President Khalil Grant tells CBC News they have already begun the preparatory work.
We're one of 6 interveners at the moment. There are another 2 that are on the way. And we've had a couple of conversations already with Barbados Light and Power's team to understand what exactly their requirements are, why they need this rate increase, what it's going to go towards, and to better understand that. So that's been a meeting with the Barbados Light and Power team as well as the regulatory committee of BREA.
Meanwhile, BREA Public Relations Officer Aidan Rogers says at the heart of the application is the power company's effort to recover part of the $3.5 billion in investments in the grid it will have to make to facilitate Barbados becoming fossil fuel free by 2030.
It's not that we're either against or for a rate hearing. We accept in principle investments need to be made. When investments are made, there needs to be a recovery mechanism. The question and what would concern all the interveners is the marriage between the two. Investments, cost recovery. What are the investments being made? How can you justify the recovery for those investments?
Sporting news now. The 2022 Powerade Dasani BSAC meet got underway yesterday at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. The Jennifer and Anthony Jones zone dominated the proceedings in both the girls and boys, with the other 2 zones being the Jeffrey Burke zone and the Peter Vaughan zone. The Jones zone led in the girls with 290 points, followed by the Vaughan zone with 193 and the Burke zone with 177. In the boys, Jones is leading on 292.50 points, followed by Vaughan with 196 and Burke on 179.50. Let's take a look now at some of the action as we take in the under 17 and open 100 meter finals.
And we've got a good start to the under 17 girls 100 meter final. Let's see who shows first. Lane 6, Welch is coming good on the inside door. Looks like Husbands is getting there. Husbands streaks home to set the apple cart. And we've got a good start of the 4th time of basket. And already we can see a Mary Ford going to work. Look at the way they're going. Jay Canada's going well, but it's going to be Pilgrim to get home. And they're way cleaning the open girls 100 meter final. Deshauna Nell's the one to watch, but making great hits. Here comes Jada Hines and Nia Brown running well, but it's going to be Niles. And we've got a good start, the open boys 100 meter final. Here they come. Looking good already is Cummins, who will show first. Masco Beckles. Oh, looks like lane number 3 just gets this. Cummins.
And the under 13s and under 15s had their time in the sun as well. Those races were also of great interest.
And we've got a clean start the 1st time of asking. Closing quickly. We can see Sharika Hickson going well. Sharifa Nichols starts to make her move. She is in lane number 3 and going really well. Sharifa Nichols starts to pull away from them. Oh, this is going to be signed, sealed, delivered Sharifa Nichols of Vaughan Zone wins the under 13 girls 200 meters. 200 final. Slow start there for the athlete Alex Simmons on in lane 8, but in the middle of the track we've got Tyrell Clark going really well so far. Lane 3, Josiah Gill looking sharp too. Jamarco Johnson going well, but it's lane 3, and out in that lane number 7, Jamarco Johnson, he's running away with it, but it's going to be close on the line. Who will get there first? It looks lane 3, Josiah Gill. Well, we've got to start here quickly. We're going to leave you the under 15 girls 200 meters. Maskell, Small, Nurse, London, Bentham, Skeet, Bryan, and Applewhite. In the middle, though, we've got lane number 3 going really well. That's a Naya Nurse. 25.87 coming in. Naya Nurse has dispatched the whiff of blood. She's going to win under 15 girls 200.
And the action continues today live on CBC TV8. You can check it out right here with us. The West Indies, they started very, very strong at one stage, having England 77 runs, odd runs for about 7 wickets, but then a last wicket stand between Jack Leach and Saqib Mahmood really did the damage for the West Indies. Still, the Windies were able to keep the English down to 204 in this third and final Apex Test series, which is going on right now. This last match being held in Grenada. Yes, that top score came from fast bowler Saqib Mahmood. He scored 49. Jack Leach 41. Not out in the bowling department. Jaden Seals, he was the pick of the bowlers yet again with 3 for 40. Kemar Roach 2 for 41. And Carl Mears, who's back in the team now, he picked up 2 for 13. At one stage he had 2 for 0 runs off 5 overs, so he's made a big impact coming back, taking the wicket of Joe Root, the captain, for naught. So the action continues today. It will be live on ESPN. That's on MCTV. That's channel 308. It starts at around 10 in the morning. You can check out the action there. Time now to look at the weather. Nice and cool on the outside, but it's feeling a bit warmer than the actual temperature. The actual temperature is 24.7 degrees Celsius. The apparent temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. The sun has been rising a bit earlier, and the days have been feeling a bit warmer. It's cloudy and slightly hazy right now. The relative humidity stands at 74%. The barometric pressure is 1014.4 millibars this morning, and those winds are topping off at about 36 kilometers per hour coming out of the east. We will see a high tide this morning at 6 minutes to 9. There will be a low in the afternoon at 4:19, and the next high tide really later on tonight at 25 minutes to midnight. Those seas are moderate in open water. Swells are getting up to 2.5 meters, but could increase above that. Small craft operators and sea bathers are being told to exercise caution. Today we are getting a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief isolated showers. And then tonight we'll have a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief isolated light showers. And here's a quick look at the international weather forecast. That's it for the Friday edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. I'll see you at 7 with your headline news. Up next is Wendy Burke with Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning and a fantastic Friday to all of you out there. Hope you're feeling fine this pleasant morning. Now this morning we are going to be dealing with education, but your future in education. And we're going to be looking at the Summer University Tour in Orlando, Florida. It's all about giving your child access to the scholarship advantages, etc., that are out there. But let you, the people who are in charge of it, tell you more. We have Rhonda Griffith, who's the coordinator of the Summer University Exploration, and she's the head of Department of Hospitality and Sports at the Alexandra School. We also have Destiny John Clark. She was a participant in the program in 2019 and a scholarship winner with Johnson and Wales University. And also Sharon Waterman, who's in marketing. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Right. Now, if I can go straight to Rhonda in terms of being the coordinator of this program, how extensive is it and how many of our children have benefited so far?
This program, good morning, this program has been ongoing for the past 6 years, and we started very small, but now we have expanded to increased numbers like 60 persons annually, and so far 20 students have benefited from scholarships. We have one here today that is Destiny John, and we started this program because there was a need for students to understand and be aware of what is out there, what scholarships are available, and we realized that there were some shortfalls in the programs offered here in Barbados. So we decided to scout around for programs that meet the needs of all the students of Barbados. And that is how we started our program.
Okay. And Sharon, what, in terms of marketing the program, do you put out there? How do you let the parents and the children and the schools know all about it?
Yes. Pleasant good morning once again. Okay, on my end, I advertise via Facebook, via Verbatim. I also posted the information on Instagram, as well as we're in the process of going on Starcom Network for radio as well. And I've introduced it to parents from Quantum Leap Athletic Club, which my daughter is also a member. And we have gained a lot of interest from the club as well, as they have introduced it to other parents and so on. And also, I must say a special thanks to our sponsors who have assisted us in this program so far. Our sponsors are Mr. Audley Jordan, Managing Director of Jordan Supermarket Limited, Mr. John Simpson, care of Wendy's Sports Bar, Saw Auto Rentals, and Kemari Renee Designs.
Okay.
And I must say special thanks to them as well.
So what do they help to facilitate? The cost of the ticket, the cost of accommodation when the students are doing the scouting? How do they assist the program fully?
Okay, primarily Mr. Audley Jordan, care of Jordan Supermarkets. He had a monetary donation which would assist towards the posters, towards other forms of advertising via the media, social media, and so on. Mr. John Simpson, he had also given us a monetary donation to assist us with the radio ads and so on Starcom network stations as well. And Miss Kimari Renee Designs, she has sponsored us some bags, which I also have one here that I can display as well. Let me get that bag.
Okay, this is for the students to travel with.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And this is the bag right here. Very creative.
Okay. All about being Barbadian, the flying fish.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's go to Destiny now, who was a recipient. Did you know about the program beforehand, or when it came to you, were you thankful that there was something out there available?
No, please. I didn't know about the program. What happened was when I was in Sixth Farm at the Spring Memorial Secondary School, the details about the program came because of the oh gosh, oh my gosh.
All right, don't get nervous. Did it come through your games teacher, your physical education teacher? Who?
No, the students that went to the other schools for not presidents, what's the name?
The prefect seminars?
Prefects, the prefects. When
Okay.
the students when the students went to Alexander, the information then came back to Springer Memorial, and the home economics department got the information and they passed it on to the students.
Okay, so you decided to take it up. Now tell me what that tour was like before you decided on which university you were going to. What happened? Give me a brief outline.
Well, when we got to the university, we had a brief tour of the entire university, and on the first day, and then on the second day, we got straight into the program, and we were in the kitchen prepping meals from a binder that they had prepared for us, and we did that for about 3 days, separate, different meals from different cultures and everything.
Okay, now that's interesting, Rhonda, because I guess it caters only to those in the area of hospitality?
No, it doesn't. That
Okay.
was her area of choice. The program catered to all areas of study: engineering, medicine, sports, emerging technologies. That's a big one because we're going to Full Sail this year, and Full Sail is offering emerging technologies. They're even catering for careers that have not yet been developed. And we find that with the universities, they're catering for 21st century skills. And these are what students need to really compete in the global economy. We know we have a one world global economy. And the areas of, even if we're looking at certain technologies that now are being developed, the students need to be exposed to these. Subject
Okay.
areas would be science, geography, all these subject areas, medicine, sports, as I said before. Acting is one as well. Film and acting, journalism is one as well. It covers all areas. So any student in any area, and we're starting from the first formers, because we find that students need to start to develop what careers they're interested in. And when they go to the tours, they talk to advisors, their parents can come as well, and they keep constant contact. So they would have an email address, and they would update the students and let them know about what careers are you interested in, what subjects are you doing, this is what my university can offer you, and they work towards developing for scholarships. So that constant contact, that partnership, this builds on the foundation for them then to get the scholarship for the university.
Now that's quite different, Rhonda, because usually you start scoping for these opportunities from about fourth or fifth year, but you are putting it out there from first form. So it means that the children really have a build-up, and there's more assistance in helping them decide what career path they want to, go down. Now, what qualifies any child to be able to be part of this summer tour?
A willingness to learn, a willingness to develop for the future, and a willingness to think outside the box. Because when students think, they think of Barbados only, they think of UWI and BCC, but there's more out there. And we know in the global economy with the emergence of the online schools and so on, there's much more there that students can do. So this is a way of letting them really think outside the box instead of just thinking, oh, this is the only place I can go. There are endless opportunities out there for all students, and it's good to start from early.
All right, Shireen, tell me what the dates are going to be like this summer, when they have to get everything together by when they depart, and how long they'll be there.
Okay, regarding the dates, the tour is from the 18th, August 18th to August 25th. Payments of deposit of $500 must be paid on or before March the 31st. We know it's a little bit close, but it can be extended. And what we can also do, we will speak with you on a one-on-one basis to assist us in the form of any financial assistance. Just speak with us or speak with myself or Rhonda, and then we'll be able to, work out a plan. Because when Rhonda had introduced this to me, I was intrigued right away. I was very intrigued right away and agreed to assist because I see this as a great opportunity for all students. And it is not just limited just for fourth form, fifth formers, and so on, but from students aged 12 to 19, they have the opportunity of going abroad and, you know, looking at the different aspects of work and also in terms of their career, what they would like to, you know, be and so on. So
Okay, so it's a fantastic opportunity. Now,
very.
Destiny, is your program yet finished, or and if not, how's it going?
Well, I didn't actually end up going to the university because of other situations, but if I did go, I believe this would have been my last year.
Okay, so what are you up to these days?
I study sociology at the university
Okay, so
of
you
West Indies.
decided to stay home, but you would
Yes,
encourage others to get on board and go on the tour.
yes, please. It was a very enjoyable and informative tour. It was a good um, thing to get part of,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it.
Now, do they also get to see the other things? Because if we're going to Orlando, Florida, are we allowing them to take in Disney World as well?
Of course, Disney, and I think that's a big one for the students because when we first started, we didn't do Disney, but then I said we're here in Florida, so why not let them have some fun time? And I found that Disney really nailed it. The students were able to, you know, they say education involves being there as well. When the students got there, the experiences were, I mean, it's a lifelong experience. And we found that Disney really nailed it for us. And the students really enjoy the Disney tours. And they do get some time to shop as well. And we find that it makes a full package and the students enjoy it. And then they always try to explore university. And we have some that go about almost every year. We have some who just go about either to help or to have the experience of the Disney.
Oh, that's awesome that, you know, they would be willing to pull others along. Now, Shireen, you spoke to the fact that your child, you got associated with it through the club. How are you pushing for the athletes to look at the opportunities through this said tour?
Okay, what I have done so far, I spoke to some of the Quantum Leap parents as well, giving them the information, and also one of the parents by the name of Miss Bonnie Jordan. She had expressed great interest as well, and she had also introduced parents from the school that her daughter Naomi Jordan goes to, which is Harrison College. So I would honestly say that the form of verbatim within the club is great. Is honestly great. I've been getting messages. I've also been getting a lot of Facebook messages as well from other clubs, other persons within the clubs as well, asking, inquiring questions about it and so on. So the interest from the Quantum League Club is awesome. Parents
Okay.
are showing great interest.
So finally, what do you predict your numbers might look like for August?
Very full.
Okay, you're gonna be at your maximum.
I'm thinking that, yes. Yes, I'm thinking that. But what we're also reaching out to corporate Barbados for sponsorship because we also take along chaperones because we need to have persons to ensure that everything is going smoothly. And we would like corporate Barbados to get on board and sponsor us so that we can have the students experience this. And I mean, it really augurs well for the students of Barbados. And this is
Okay.
something that Bahamas has been doing for a long time, and it's good that Barbados can jump on board and be a part of this program.
Okay, I want to thank you very much. That's Rhonda Griffith there, the coordinator of the Summer University Exploration. Destiny John Clark, a participant in the program, and she for the scholarship winner with Johnson and Wales, and Sharon Waterman, who is helping to market the program. Ladies, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you have an awesome summer tour, and I hope a lot of those students, at least more than half of them who go on the exploration, come away with scholarship opportunities. Ladies, have a brilliant morning.
Thank you. Same to you. Good morning.
Well, when Morning Barbados returns, we'll look at some more teaching opportunities. We'll also be hearing about that Rotary West program, which is looking to help our children with their auditory needs. Morning Barbados will be back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to those of you who were with us, and fantastic Friday to those who are now joining. We're now going to be talking to one of the 2021 recipients of the RF Distinguished Teachers Awards, none other than Miss Tiffany Scanterbury, who is at the Eden Lodge Nursery School. And she is in the nursery section, as we would have mentioned. And as you know, Barbados is now very keen on early childhood education. And there are a number of nurseries coming up across the country which are looking to get our little ones into the learning process earlier, especially when it comes to reading. And this is an area that Tiffany is very, very much interested in. Good morning to you, Tiffany.
Good morning, my dear.
Yes. Now you are at Eden Lodge Nursery School. Now Eden Lodge Nursery was one of the first early childhood development nurseries that was put in place. And I know it was the first because my nephew and niece went there and they're now in their 30s. No. Yeah, it's been around for a while and doing good work. And I see that you are assisting with that good work that it continues to do. The parents have been giving you all sorts of accolades, not only about the in-classroom setting, but also how you have been helping these little ones online. And we all know that they fidget and can't keep quiet in spaces when they're there in the classroom. How did you manage?
It's quite easy. Once you set a precedence of what you would like in your classroom, the little ones assimilate quickly. And I find that most of them are easy to give once they have that responsibility of looking after themselves. And they say, oh, well, I'm going to be responsible, because there's certain incentives that come with being responsible. And it prepares them for the next stage that they're going on to into primary school.
Okay.
So it is quite easy.
Before, when they got the words right and they managed to read those initial passages, they used to do stars in the books and, you know, the little pencils and stuff. What kind of incentives do you give your little ones for actually performing the various tasks set?
My incentives come with those same stars, with little prizes. I also have weekly Friday readings where you get to choose the book you need to read. We have storytelling. Somebody would choose the story. Somebody would attempt to read the story, however they want to interpret this story. We also have a snack Friday. I am a big foodie, so I encourage my children to be foodies as well. So we would have a snack on Friday. We would have ice cream or some kind of something, even a music/jam session. Anything that that they lead up to. It is a progression of successive good tasks for that Friday to have a excellent day on the Friday.
Okay, now the parents said that you are very much a sharer and carer when it comes to their little ones, because if anything is needed for that classroom space that's not available, you will pull your own pocket and provide it to make sure that those little ones learn.
Yes, I do. Without hesitation. Yes, I do.
And they're your babies, I understand. That's how you refer to them?
They are my kitties, they are my lovies, they are my duckies, everything. They are, when I tell parents, from the time you drop them off at the gate, they're no longer your children, they are mine. When you pick them up at 3, they become yours. So they are my babies while I am at school, and I love them just as if they were my own children.
Okay, and the parents are very comfortable with that because they say you also provide a grounding for them in understanding what information is being shared, how it is being shared, and so on. So how important do you see that interaction between yourself and the parent to make sure that those children continue to learn?
Once there is a stable connection between the teacher and the parent, I find that the children tend to respond better to concepts being taught. They tend to respond better to their peers because they know that, okay, mommy and teacher, Mommy might tell teacher, and teacher will tell mommy. Also, it goes to sometimes the parents need that assistance, that further assistance in order to ground the children at home, because my way of disciplining them at school or having a standard set at school, they may not. So sharing tips on how they respond at home to how they respond at school, we find the middle ground, and that helps the child to grow into their own, go have their own path and understand it. And it tends to work really well once the teacher and the parents are on the same page.
Okay, now when you heard that you had been nominated, did it surprise you?
Very much so. Very much so. It came directly out of left field. I was not expecting it. It was a jaw dropper.
Okay.
A pleasant dropper.
Well, and I find it a little bit sometimes hard to believe, because why do some teachers think that they should not be rewarded or celebrated? Is it sometimes a job without thanks?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I say so without hesitation. Most, if not all, of teachers in Barbados love their jobs. We work after hours, we work in between hours. Some evenings up to 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock. There are teachers that I know that are up preparing worksheets, preparing for the next day. And depending on the type of parents they have, some feel it is a very thankless job, and others view it as teachers being glorified babysitters. And sometimes, and I say it without hesitation, that some days you feel like that, and you have to look at the kids and say you're doing it for the kids. It is sometimes a very thankless job, but if you have successfully taught a lesson or gotten a concept across, the child has progressed and has shown progression, that is where you feel the gratitude, that is where you feel satisfied in knowing that you have completed your job and done a job well done, and seeing it in the children, being reflected in the children.
I'm glad you spoke to the issue of progression, because there's a train of thought being bandied about now about this whole issue of learning loss. And these early ones, these 3 to 5 year olds, are of great concern, because there's some who believe that while they understand the technology of the tablet and the laptop, because that's what they like generally, they still have not been assimilating in as much as if they were in the physical classroom, especially when it comes to the writing skills.
That is true. For me, personally, I see that as a lack of, well, better cannot be done because of present circumstances and being online. However, it is true. These children at 3 to 5 years old, they need that face-to-face physical interaction in terms of being able to read, write, gross motor, fine motor skills development, all of that. They need that hand-to-hand, that one-on-one with the teacher, with their peers, in order to build social skills, in order to build their own communication skills and such not. Being online and being on the tablet, yes, they will speak to their peers, yes, they will speak to the teacher, but at the end of the day, we the teachers are not seeing directly what they are doing, and we cannot directly correct them or show them the right way from being online. So it is a huge drawback in terms of that.
So you were happy to be back in that classroom?
Very much so. Very much so.
So what lesson are your little duckies on now? What area of the curriculum?
We are currently exploring our world of animals. We are doing the life cycles of animals currently, and my class also have a current experimentation going on in turning an egg into a ball. So we are supposed to reveal that
into a ball.
Yes, please, a bouncy egg. So we are going to be bouncing those eggs today and see if that experiment actually works.
My. So you're giving these little ones not only what is on paper, but you're also letting them explore other things in the world and understand how life works.
Yes, that is the best way to do it. find
Okay.
relatable concepts, and they will learn.
And now, do you have a small class roll, or do you have over 30?
My class roll is 12. Due to COVID restrictions and the separations and social distances, all class rolls have been reduced to accommodate the 3 to 6 feet spacing in each classroom. So my
Okay.
role is very manageable
Okay.
role.
Okay, so those little ones are getting even more of Tiffany's attention. And I'm sure they're enjoying it. Well, Tiffany, I want to congratulate you once again on your award. Continue to keep up the good work, whether it be at Eden Lodge or any other nursery, and keep the good work going. And you and your duckies have an excellent day. Okay, so Yuleen Alexander, she says, that's very nice hearing this, Tiffany. Keep on doing that excellent job. Kudos to you. So even our Facebook viewers are watching and congratulating you on what you do and how you do it. Keep up the good work and have a great morning.
Thank you. Have a great morning as well.
Thank you so much. Morning Barbados will be back in a bit, and you can get close to your phone lines because you're in time to win. But before we do that, we're going to be getting to some more news with Shane Seeley. We'll be back after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back. Well, it's now time to hear what's happening on news with Shane Seeley.
Here's your headline news for this Friday, March 25th. There are new reports surfacing of young people here in Barbados suffering heart failure and even strokes as a result of long COVID-19. Sharing some of the details on the morning report, Dr. Kenneth Connell says while these are isolated cases, there has been an uptick in former COVID-19 patients now presenting to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital with symptoms of long COVID. The Associate Consultant Internist at the QEH spoke about the situation at the hospital.
We have seen increased rates in heart failure presentations to the hospital in patients who've had COVID-19. And then there are other peculiar presentations, such as heart failure in a young patient, which is not known to have cardiovascular disease, or strokes in young patients. Many people, and many of my colleagues certainly have seen this both locally and internationally, the whole acute presentations of diabetes, people presenting in diabetic emergencies who were previously controlled. So people who are living already with NCDs may have sudden presentations to the hospital, but it's probably more important to mention that even if you do not, or you're not known to have an NCD, you could certainly present with a PASC type or long COVID syndrome.
Dr. Connell, also Deputy Dean of Internationalization and Recruitment at the UWI Cave Hill, says research shows that about 1 in every 3 COVID-19 patients could suffer with symptoms of long COVID. That's why Barbadians are being told to take it seriously.
Predisposing factors appear to be patients living with NCDs, such as cardiovascular diseases like heart attack, stroke, cancers, patients who already have autoimmune diseases such as lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, as well as if you had a very severe infection during the viral illness, you were very ill, you were hospitalized perhaps, you were probably higher at risk. Women are also at a higher risk, and middle age. The middle age category is certainly at a higher risk. So you can just imagine in an NCD country like Barbados, long COVID or past syndrome is going to be a significant burden on our health systems, and we are already seeing this at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
In related news, there were 110 new COVID-19 cases, 46 males and 64 females recorded on Wednesday out of 723 tests conducted by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. Of those positive cases, there were 20 youngsters under the age of 18 and 90 individuals were 18 years and older. The number of people in isolation facilities was 46, while 856 people were in home isolation. As at March 23rd, there were 329 deaths from the virus. Meanwhile, we hear that the pandemic will not be allowed to deprive students here in Barbados of being guided on future careers. Well, the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors has announced their second virtual showcase to be held on March 30th and March 31st. The showcase is targeted at 13 to 18-year-old students at public and private secondary schools, as well as special needs schools on the island. The president of the association, Dr. Patricia Welch, says the goal is to support the development of young people so they can become productive citizens in the future. She also gave some insight into some of the professions that will be at the showcase.
The emerging careers, we will take a look at robotics, coding, renewable energy, computer animation. Innovation will be shared in the areas of education, health, agriculture, finance, and business. There's an anti-money laundering and compliance consultant, a media forensics expert, and a biomarker consultant. Other careers of interest are in construction, medicine, law, counseling, psychology, barbering, childcare. We have a nanny, cosmetologist, we have accountants, and also nutritionists.
The Barbados Renewable Energy Association, BREA, is one of the latest entities to be added to the list of interveners for the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited's hearing for a rate increase. BREA says they are ready to go before the Fair Trading Commission, although a date has not yet been revealed. The president, Khalid Grant, tells CBC News they have already begun the preparatory work.
We're one of 6 interveners at the moment. There are another 2 that are on the way, and we've had a couple of conversations already with Barbados Light and Power's team to understand what exactly their requirements are, why they need this rate increase, what it's going to go towards, and to better understand that. So that's been a meeting with the Barbados Light and Power team as well as the regulatory committee of BREA.
Jaden Seals led what was a good bowling performance by the Windies, even though a last wicket partnership of about 80 thwarted what could have been a wonderful first innings for the Windies in bowling out England. They eventually bowled them out for 204. However, it was Saqib Mahmood 49 and Jack Leach 41. That's number 10 and 11. Making most of the runs. In the wickets, as I said, Jaden Seals with 3, Kimar Roach, Carl Mears and Alzari Joseph with 2 wickets apiece. Jermaine Blackwood also got 1 wicket, that final wicket of Saqib Mahmood. So England 204. The Windies will respond today with their batting performance. We'll see what happens there. You can check out the live action on MCTV's ESPN channel from around 10 this morning. And that's your headline news for this Friday, March the 25th. I'm Shane Seeley. It's back over to you, Wendy.
Well, I thank you, Shane, and do have a pleasant morning yourself. When Morning Barbados returns, it's time to get close to your phones, 228-5562, 228-5563, and we'll also be hearing about a program to stop hearing loss in Barbados. We'll be back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's now time to win with Cure Oxygen.
It's time to make a call for the Cure. It's the Cure Oxygen Water promotion, and it's time for you callers to win a 12-pack of Cure, a polo shirt, and a face mask. Cure Oxygen Water. It goes beyond hydration and challenges everything you thought you knew about water by helping you to discover great health and your limitless potential. Available on their website, www.shopsmjbarbados.com, and supermarkets nationwide. Now it's time for this morning's question, 228-5562, 228-5563. Has the technology and benefits of Cure been recognized by any health ministries globally? The question again, has the technology and benefits of Cure been recognized by any health ministries globally? Time. Good morning to you.
How are you?
I am fine this morning.
Yeah, I've been recognized.
Recognize where, sir? You have to tell me where.
Recognized in England. I'll be giving the patients and the officers.
Sir?
I've been recognized in England. I'll be giving the patients and the health officers.
What patients?
The COVID patients.
Okay. And you have that answer in one, sir. You stand to win a 12-pack of Cure Water, a polo shirt, and a face mask. And the answer is yes. The Ministry of Health of England, they've used it to treat COVID patients as patients require increased oxygenation during COVID and also during recovery. Now stay on the line and give your information to our producer, sir, so you can find out exactly how you can collect your prize this morning. Cure Oxygen Water, going beyond hydration with lots of health benefits, increased stamina and performance, and it hydrates like no other water.
Cure Oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back to Morning Barbados. We are going to be talking about a special project which the Rotary Club of Barbados West has been putting on. It's the Ellen Steinbach Hearing Project. And I want to introduce my guest this morning, Renee Butcher, who's president of Rotary Club Barbados West, Dr. Mariella Stabler, of the Hearing and Speech Center, and Pierre Griffith, who has participated and benefited from the project. Good morning to you all.
Good morning. Hi, good morning, Wendy.
Yes. Now, Renee, we would have had you on before, so you can just tell us, about Dr. Stabler and Pierre and how they've benefited from the program.
Yes, so thanks, Wendy. It's a pleasure to be here once again. Dr. Stabler and Pierre are perhaps two of the biggest reasons why our club decided to embark on what we consider to be a very important project. Pierre more speaks about the heart of the project. When we went to the Good Shepherd Primary School and we conducted a screening exercise, Pierre was one of the children we found. And when we saw Pierre put on his hearing aid for the first time, and we saw the look on his face, and we saw how his mother responded. A whole new world opened up to him, and I can tell you, Wendy, it touched the hearts of a lot of Rotarians. Anyone who saw it in our club, we were deeply moved. Dr. Stabler and her dad in particular, Mr. Ben Stabler, were part of that testing program. But long term, I think about 20 years ago, Dr. Stabler's dad, Ben Stabler, was part of a screening exercise where he tested students all across the island. Once we discovered Pierre, we wanted to find out more about the project. And in speaking with Mr. Stabler, we were able to understand the scope of the issue nationally and the extent to which it affects Barbadian children across the classroom. And it was at that point we decided to expand the project and to go to all the schools in the island. So both Dr. Stabler and Pierre are key parts of why we do what we do. Dr. Stabler in particular right now is still involved with the project, and her family in the Barbados Hearing and Speech Center is playing a key role in the technical part of the project moving forward.
Okay, well, let's just hear how key that role is. Good morning to you, Dr. Mariella Stabler.
Good morning.
Now, what types of hearing loss have you been discovering among our primary school age children?
Right, a pleasure to be here. In terms of children, the types of hearing loss that you're going to see more in the vast amount of hearing loss you're going to see are things that are due to wax and fluid in the ears, so what we call middle ear disorders. There are an additional smaller percentage that have what we call sensory neural hearing loss, which is essentially permanent hearing loss that a child has had since they were born or may have acquired in their lifetime up so far. And that is the type of hearing loss that Pierre has. It's sensory neural, it's permanent, it's not remediable by wax removal or removal of the fluid in the middle ear. So that's generally what we see with kids.
That these children, have managed to go undetected for so long, parents not recognizing that, education deficits might be because they can't hear what's actually going on in the classroom.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just recently, in the last couple of weeks, I saw a couple children for the same hearing project who had wax in their ears. And even though, they could still interact like regular kids, they did have a small deficit, which means that, we think of the level that we're hearing and it's normal, but imagine your hearing the dial turned down a little bit, and you're trying to focus in a classroom that has lots of competing noise of other students and then trying to hear your teacher through that. It can be a bit of a challenge, and that can even make listening over a long time tiring. And it can come across in sometimes behavioral problems because the child is just having a hard time listening through the noise.
Okay, so it presents some challenges in terms of social engagement.
Yes.
Okay, now what as a parent should I be looking for?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm really glad you asked this question. At home, with Pierre's mom, she had these inklings. When we had Pierre's fitting, she actually said to me, a lot of the things that I was seeing before make sense now in the context of Pierre having hearing loss. So some of the obvious signs would be something like, your child is not responding to you when you're calling them, even, if you're essentially shouting. If they have if they like the volume of the TV really loud, that could also be an indication that they're just not hearing it well and they need a little bit more volume. Also, if you find that your child hears you better if you're speaking face to face with them rather than from behind them, that can also be a problem. Sometimes, as I said, within the classroom, inattention and behavioral problems can sometimes be an indication where a child is just frustrated because they're not hearing as clearly as they could.
Have a quick word now with Pierre. Good morning to you, Pierre. Good morning. Now that's a bright smile there. How happy were you when you got your hearing aid, Pierre?
I was really happy because when I got them, I learned how to better, and you can pick your own colors, and I picked purple and blue.
Okay. Now, what are some of the differences that you found in your life and being able to interact with your friends and your teacher and your mom and dad since you've gotten your aids?
I hear traffic at home and little things like drops on the roof, and at night time there's crickets, and also the air blowing through the trees.
Okay, so things are a lot better for you now, and you can hear nature at its best. Dr. Stabler, if I can come back to you, from what you've been doing thus far, and I know it's primary school age, have you found these issues of the excessive wax, the liquid, the other more serious damage, is there a particular age group that it has been found within?
Okay, so in regards to wax can be found at any age. I see newborns up to adults, and you see newborns that have wax and, 100-plus-year-olds that have wax. So wax is not, age. It doesn't look at age. In terms of fluid, that is generally something seen in younger children. And it has a lot to do with how children's facial structure is developing. They tend to get an accumulation of fluid in their ears a lot easier. So that's why you will see a lot of school-age kids that have multiple infections. Sometimes this starts to crop up around the 2 to 3 age and can lean into maybe around this same age that we're testing in the project 6, 7, 8. You can still see regular fluid in children's ears.
Okay, and outside of the project that's going on now at the various primary schools, and you might have a child who say now got to secondary school, what testing is there available across the island for that particular child?
Right. So what would happen is, even if they hadn't gone to a screening, if they came to my office for a diagnostic hearing test, we would do a test called pure tone audiometry. And what that means is there's going to be a headphone placed over your ears or inserts put in your ears, and then you are asked to press a button when you hear the beep. And so I will do that for different frequencies, and with doing that, I can determine if there's any hearing loss, the type of hearing loss, and the degree of hearing loss that you have. And so based on that, I can then recommend either hearing aids or any other intervention that might be appropriate for the patient.
Okay, is there a different type of aid for each child in terms of what frequencies you hear at, etc.? Is there different type of hearing aid you prescribe for the children during these screenings?
The type of hearing aid prescribed would be usually based on the degree of hearing loss that the actual child has. In general, as Pierre is actually wearing his hearing aids now, you will see children fit with hearing aids that are a piece that's over the ear and a piece that's in the ear, and we call these behind the ear hearing aids. And we use these in children because their ears are still growing. So you don't want to put, a hearing aid that's built for their ear canal, because their ears will then outgrow that and they'd have to buy a whole new hearing aid. The type of hearing aid that Pierre has is, as I said, over the ear. There's an ear mold, and if his ear were to outgrow that ear mold, which it will, we would then just make a new one based on the new size of his ear.
Aid here, you don't order them from abroad. Barbados has the technology to be able to service all of these children through the program.
Oh, they're ordered from abroad, but we definitely can service, program, and manipulate all of that here in Barbados. Yes. So they're all made in big factories abroad, but yes, we do manipulate all types of hearing aids here in Barbados, yes.
Well, that's awesome to know. And I think we need to say kudos to Rotary West for putting on this national initiative, because there are parents who would not have even detected or sensed that there was anything wrong. We all live busy lives. We're interested in our children, yes, but we figure, some children just like the TV loud. They just like to hear the music so they can vibe to it, as we say. But it's good to know that there was something wrong and that you all are helping with it. Now, Pierre, if you had to speak to any of your friends who were to get a hearing aid and were a bit afraid to do it, what would you tell them?
Tell them that it helps you better, and it's cool, like wearing headphones, and you can pick your own colors. So.
Okay, so you're having fun, and I'm glad that you can hear so much better. I want to thank you all for being our guests this morning on Morning Barbados. Renee Butcher, the president of Rotary Club of Barbados West, Dr. Mariella Stabler of the Hearing and Speech Center, and Pierre Griffith, a student of the Good Shepherd School who was a recipient some 2 years ago. Thanks again for joining us. Keep up the good work you're doing. Let's keep our children hearing, because then we know they'll be learning. Have a brilliant morning. When Morning Barbados returns, we'll be telling you about some action which is going to be going on at the weekend in terms of our entrepreneurs and a farmers market. But we'll also be reminiscing about some of our entertainers who've passed. Lou Jig Skirton. So these and more when Morning Barbados returns.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And now you put me down. Put me down for someone else. The love you took from me hurts, can't you see? Baby, can't you see? remember that what you do comes back to you. What do you want from love that I can't give? I've given you all my love. Baby, without your loving, I can't live.
Lou Jakes Curtin, one of Barbados' smoothest voices. He unfortunately passed away on the 21st of January this year at the age of 74. But while he may not be on earth with us, his memory will be kept alive in a tribute. I want to say good morning to Mr. Peter Clark, who will be part of the Lou Jakes Curtin tribute concert. Good morning to you, Mr. Clark.
Good morning. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Barbados. Thank you, Wendy, for having me on.
Right. Now, what is the driving force behind the staging of this concert?
Well, as you said, we can bury his body, but we cannot bury his spirit and his soul. So when he passed away, a group of us said, you know what, let's do a tribute, a musical tribute for Lou Curtin. And to that end, we're doing one on April the 9th in Brooklyn, and it's going to be well attended. Our tickets are selling out. But more importantly, we want to advocate a legacy for Lou, a legacy, and long-lasting legacy. And we're looking fundamentally to have the street that he was born on, which is in Carrollton Village, renamed the Lou Curtin Way. But that's down the road, so that's going to take some cultural pulls. But more importantly, we've envisioned putting Lou here in Barbados in wax, the Wax Museum. You know, and for those of you who have not seen the Wax Museum, I suggest you do. But he will be in wax with a microphone in his hand and one of his suits. So he would be regular. And I'm looking forward for the technology where we can even, when you stand in front of him, hear his voice. And that can happen. There are young people that can make that happen. Very, very possible.
And you know, that's a voice that is unmistakable. You know, one of the sweetest that we would have had over the years. And a lot of people on his passing, you know, were a bit shocked by the situation. We knew when he first took ill, there were rumors that he had passed, but he hadn't. And then it came, and the news saddened us all. But it's good to know that you're trying to create that legacy and to keep him around. Now, in terms of the actual concert, who are some of the people that will be there performing, and how many of his tunes can we expect to hear from them?
We have quite a few of the artists that are going to, you know, sing his songs. They're going to sing his songs, but we also connected here in Barbados, and Mighty Gabby and Richard Stout, and they're going to zoom in to the show. So that's also going to be a tribute to Lou.
Okay, so while you're live abroad, you'll also be having some of his closest friends and singers who were alongside him back in the day zooming in to be part of the concert as well. So that should be phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That should be
That's
phenomenal.
going to be phenomenal.
Now,
And
also,
for those
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
You know, for those, Lou had this husky baritone voice, as you can say, and he always gave you goosebumps and goose pimples. And he was a legend in Europe, in France, and in England. He would go across annually for years. He would go and do shows. So he was global, and I say that he was our first international musical ambassador, which he was. Then Rihanna came and she was able to put Barbados on the map. But he was telling people, hey, you got to go to my country, Barbados. And if you ever met him, he just had that infectious laugh and giggle, you know. So, you know, I once asked him, Wendy, how did he get the name Jakes? And he said to me when he was growing up, 13, 14, he had these skinny legs. And there was a cartoon in the magazine, and the guy's name was Jakes. And Jakes stuck with him all his life.
Yes, but what stuck with us is his voice and the lyrics that he
Absolutely.
created. Because once he starts to perform, we feel at one with the music and we understand exactly what it is he's relating to us. Now, you do a jazz show on CaribbeanPepperpot.com. Are you going to be using that show to help promote Lou as well and to make some people more familiar with his music?
Absolutely. I've been doing that since he passed away. Every Tuesday night, I play one of his albums. The first hour, it's a 3-hour show, but the first half an hour I play Lou, and then I close out with the last half an hour. Yes, I've been doing that. I mean, Lou is in my spirit and in my soul. He made me the godfather of his son, Omar, 24 years ago. So there's a sense of intimacy that we have to keep him alive. Yeah, so I do the jazz show, Peter Clark with Evening Jazz, CaribbeanPepperpot.com. So just tune on. It comes on at 8 o'clock, and we do it from 8 to 11. So Peter Clark, CaribbeanPepperpot.com. And thank you for mentioning that for me, Wendy.
Yes, so we are looking forward to this concert and the performers that are going to be coming. Now, you said that you're almost sold out?
We have the tickets, and even if you don't attend, and some people will not be able to attend because of the physical logistics, we're out of other cities, but you can buy and support the concert by going to Eventbrite Lou Curtin. So go ahead and purchase, a ticket and support us. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Well, I want to thank you, Peter, for coming on to tell us about this concert. And we're just going to leave our viewers with a little bit more of Lou so they understand exactly the kind of man, the kind of music, and the type of memories that will be kept alive when this concert is staged. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
It sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Thank you. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. It seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. You see, I've been stolen, I've borrowed. Yeah. Said I'm easy, like Sunday morning. Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm easy, so easy like Sunday morning.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back. It's time now to talk about the St. Philip Farmers and Entrepreneurs Market. It will be taking place this Saturday on the Rice's playing field. And to tell us all about it is Miss Mona Aline. She's the assistant coordinator of that event. Good morning to you, Mona.
Morning, Wendy. How are you?
I am well this morning. Now,
Good,
we're going to be
good.
going from 9 until 7:30. What's there going to be to do on Rice's pasture for that length of time?
Well, let me just start by saying that this is our fourth occasion. And each time we've had it, we've realized that there's been an increase in numbers, not only in persons on the stalls, but the patrons have been coming out in their numbers. So what we've done this time, we've added a few other elements to the program. And besides the regular food and drink that we are accustomed to, we are having craft, we are having like jewelry, we have persons with clothing, we have pots, potted plants, fruits and vegetables, and jewelry making and jewelry, and lots of activities that persons can be part of or patrons can benefit from.
Okay,
This
now,
is
now we spoke of patrons. The event is being held under the patronage of the Member of Parliament for the area, the Honourable Indar Weir, who also serves as Minister of Agriculture and Nutritional Security. Now, when people hear these things, they assume, oh, there's going to be a little bit of chatting with the minister, etc. But walk me through the day's program.
Well, okay, like you indicated earlier, we start at 9 and we're giving persons more time to set up from the morning angle, because we found that when we tried to start at 8, it was creating some challenges for some persons. So we're starting at 9, and as persons set up their stalls, they're going to be doing their selling, preparing their different, like in terms of the food and the drink, preparing their different items for sale. But what we're adding to this event this time is that we are going to be having, during the course of the day, we would normally have DJ music, to entertain our patrons. But then between 5 and 7, there is local, there's going to be local music DJs within the parish who are going to be performing. And, St. Philip is noted for very good performers, quality performers. So we are going to be having that aspect between 5 and 7. We are also looking at a local farmer who is going to be bringing some black belly lambs and some other elements to the program for the display, and this will make up the additional element that we are going to be having for the program, for the event.
So with these black belly lambs that are going to be there, is it going to be like, say, part of a petting zoo for the children who come with their parents? Or is it about getting the interest of other potential farmers piqued in being able to do livestock rearing?
I would say both. Both from the point of view that our young people growing up nowadays are not as close. Most of them are not as close to the animals as we as adults would like them to be. So this would be an opportunity for them to be able to pet them, see the mother, the sheep, and then, pet the lambs, look to see how they develop. And then there are going to be chickens coming too, and there will be eggs. So it's an opportunity from both angles. But Minister Ware, as representative for the constituency, has indicated that it is not just for St. Philip alone. We are inviting and welcoming all of Barbados.
Okay. So how do they get in contact to register for the event?
There are 2 contact numbers. One is Maria at the office, which is 546-2416, and Andrew Glasgow 265-4490.
Okay, so those are our contacts. How full are you up to this point? Because it's going to be on Saturday.
Well, at this point, we have over 50 participants already, and we can hold more because we're looking at the races playing field, which is relatively large. So, in
And you're going to
addition
be
to
incorporating the pavilion as well?
the extent, but we use just around the base of the set, but most of it would be under tentage. We have a kind of like a tent city setup, and then persons bring their own tents and set up also. So we're welcoming everybody. It's free of charge, like I said. We do most of the setup tonight, and then early in the morning, persons come out and pack their stalls. So
Okay.
this event is in collaboration with the branch executive and the minister in our rear, who is extremely excited about having the program, and we, together with him, we put things on in a good way.
Okay, so this is number 4, as you mentioned. So I am wishing you the greatest success in the staging of this market. We're now open. People are getting the opportunity to come back out and, you know, be in fellowship with each other. But what are some of the protocols that you're asking them to make sure they're observed?
Well, the distancing, of course, and hand sanitizing at this stage. And I want to add to Wendy that our relevant permissions have been in place. The insurances and the licenses, we've taken care of those already. But in terms of the sanitizing and the hand washing, all our patrons and their tent holders are going to be ensuring that, and we are going to be following up behind them to ensure that everything is in order. So
Right.
basically, that is where we're at.
Right, so it's safe for patrons to come out because all protocols will be observed. I want to thank you so much, Mona, for coming this morning. And as I said, I wish you the most success on Saturday with your Farmers and Entrepreneurs Market.
And remember, all Barbados is welcome. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Have a great morning. That's Mona Allen there talking about the St. Philip South Farmers and Entrepreneurs Market at the Rice's Playing Field. Okay, Morning Barbados, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll have Fresh Friday.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, it's Fresh Friday, and this morning we're going to be speaking with Keyshawn. He's an R&B singer set to release his first single this year, and Keyshawn fell in love with music, albeit accidentally, but he's fallen pretty hard for it. Now, Keyshawn has been singing his ABCs since the youth service days and right here in Barbados. His talent was uncovered by one of his tutors, at the, who happens also to be Sanctuary. And Keyshawn, we're going to look at your video now, Memories, so we can see exactly what you have been doing in the world of R&B.
Now you wanna burst a hook for me. Now you know this shit ain't cheap. Now you really wanna put the blame on me, cause I got the fame on me. Now you know the game ain't cheap. Always doing things by the book. Nobody never care how I did look. Cause my pocket was empty and nobody couldn't get nothing from me. Now you wanna slide my DM and tell me how much you wanted to see me. Now you wanna get freaky. Sit on my lily, you watching the TV. Trying to get the money like the army. Trying to get this money. When I was calling your phone, you never answer when I'm all alone. Now you hitting my phone. What do you really want from me? Say you don't get to see me, you only see me when I'm on the TV. Hold on, when I was giving you game, you look back at me like I'm a lame. It was never the same. You never get changed. Me and my boys, sleep was out there, dancing in the rain.
Good morning to you, Keyshawn, and welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning, ladies. Morning to everybody at home. Morning, Barbados. Thank you for having
Now,
me.
Keyshawn, you're most welcome. It's happy to have you here on Fresh Friday. Now, songwriting, when did you start it?
Let's be honest. I started for 5 years. 5 years. 5 years.
Okay, but actually performing and recording, when did that begin?
That happened 4 years. I said 5 years, and then 4 years.
Okay, so you were writing a bit before you actually looked to get into a studio. Now, this passion for R&B, you're not looking to be the traditional kind of singer. You're looking to fuse what is from the Caribbean with, you know, what you expect usually in terms of an R&B rhythm. Why that twist?
Because firstly, we ain't got that much R&B in Barbados to begin with. I can name like 5 or whatever. Yes, maybe on my hand, but I so want to be originated, so want to put my culture along with the R&B. So I try to fuse it, get that Caribbean international feel. So that was what we're going for. Yeah.
Okay, and do you think you found the exact mix that you wanted, or is there a bit more that you're looking to do with your music?
Well, in the beginning stages of my career, obviously, I kind of find my lane, I find my beats that I like, but coming into 2020 when I actually found my voice. So some people they say that they've got a voice, a natural voice, some people got a voice that they don't know if it's theirs yet. So I found that in 2020, then I found the right position and everything like that, just in that perfect timing. So after that, we just clicking after that.
Okay. Now I understand that along with the performing of the R&B, you also like to do a bit of comedy too.
Yeah. I be doing a little bit. I try not to let nobody label me as a comedian, but apparently that's a humor personality.
Okay, well maybe you'll find a way to mix both of them so that, or bring a little bit of it into some of the songs that you do. Now, this most recent release of yours, Love Potion, also features Sivers the Third, and you should be dropping it today or yesterday.
Well, it's dropping as we speak.
Okay, so it's happening currently.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of dropping on the airwaves, do you also have social media platforms that you're on that you're pushing your music through?
Yeah. I got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got Facebook, and so 3 different social media platforms, and that's Keyshawn, KESHAUN 124. 124. So if you get me on those 4.
Okay, so that's this year's single. You just dropped it today, fresh, hot off the press. What are you looking at next?
Well, I got fair amount of music that we record. I mean, I might say I got Christmas song, but obviously we're early, but it's coming. So
you're into Christmas.
Because I'm really thinking about Christmas already. because one thing I realized that we always got these same Christmas songs that are always repetitive. So I trying to bring something fresh, put a nice little R&B love to it, you know. But yeah, I want to bring
Okay.
something.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Christmas will be here before we know it. Now,
That.
watching the video, people might not say it is the traditional kind of love song. Walk me
Right.
through the lyrics.
Well, that memory is the one that you just showed. Obviously, that was traditional R&B. That got hip hop twisted in because basically I was just speaking from past experience. So I was just saying like, yeah, I was trying to show you my love story. Clearly, you're not happy. I know that certain things happening and certain things taking place. Now you coming back or starting to say that, yeah, let me try this love thing you were talking about. So basically, that what I'm saying in that video. But it's not traditional R&B. Let me just make that clear.
Okay,
It's
so
a-
sing a few lines of Love Potion for me.
yeah, no problem. My love is going too fast. Nobody wanted to last. My love is going. I need a love potion, and nobody wanna hear my heart cry. So,
Okay,
as
so what's in your Love Potion?
mine,
Yeah. If
mine.
you're
Okay.
pushing it at us, you must have something in it. What are the ingredients of your Love Potion?
Well, we talk about it. Loyalty, trust, commitment. Obviously, we need that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Where's the
and
honesty? You're leaving that
where's
out?
the honesty?
Yeah. Isn't
Pardon?
that part of your potion?
Well, no, that you give me, I'm gonna add that in.
I think
I'm
that
gonna
should
make
be
sure
first because that's what's going to
that should be
help us
first.
believe that there's actually love.
Okay, we gonna start off with loyalty. Loyalty,
Okay.
trust, and yeah, basically, when we say that, what always make a relationship work is obviously trust, communication, and understanding. You know, because like if we get in a relationship, we want to know exactly what we get ourselves into, and if
That's
this can be
correct.
and if this can be longevity. So you know, you don't want to waste your time, especially no. So yeah,
No, you
basically,
said
yeah,
waste time. You know, people would be wondering, do young people really fall in love? Because, I mean, one minute we see you on social media with this person, and then it's, oh, this is my baby forever, and all of these things. But then 3 months later, a
we're totally
whole
different.
fresh set of pictures and experiences. So is love real
Love
for your generation?
is love real for my generation. It just they haven't picked up on it yet. I mean, if that makes sense. It's just
Okay.
like I a traditional guy, a traditional man. I old school, but like young soul. If that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it's
it
like
does.
I believe in like dating first. Like obviously you want to come stay a message or whatever because you know that the fast thing. So I want to go get to know you personally, get to see you for who you with because people that
And in
jump into
different
this and then
situations.
exactly. So if I go to a restaurant, I say if you go to movies and like I offer to pay for the movie or whatever the case may be, and you know when I pick you up before your door, you shut the door, I pay for the movies, pay for snacks. At some point in time, you guys give me some sort of gesture, like yeah, you want me to do something, you good, this third or something. It don't always gotta be me. That's doing something. It gotta be
Understood.
something. You
So
know
love
what I mean?
has to
So
be reciprocal.
I,
So,
I,
Keyshawn, I
that's what
want to encourage you to keep using your love potion and others to hear it as well. Remind me quickly of your social media handles once more.
of course. Instagram is Kshawn, KSHAWN 134. And Facebook is Keyshawn Grimes, and Twitter is Life of Keyshawn. So,
Okay. So it's 15 minutes to lunchtime, Keyshawn. Congratulations on that single. And I wish you all the best. And I'm looking forward to hearing that Christmas song as well.
of course, man.
Have a great morning.
You too. You too.
Just to remind viewers, today is the BSAC day as well, so you can tune into Channel 8 to get some more of that action that will be coming to you. It's been a pleasure bringing you Morning Barbados. I'm Wendy Burke. Have a fantastic Friday.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.